Hello and good day. This is Twoforman here, and I'd like to share with you some of my anti-theist observations that I've made recently, hopefully to make you at least ponder or question why you believe what you believe. This is the same kind of brain puzzles that I've been through, and well, we'll just see what happens. We'll start with a brief history of God, or gods. In man's early days, men thought of gods. They invented gods. They invented religion. They did this to try to explain the natural world around them, for which lots of things they had no science or answers for. They basically started religion, and it was man's early attempt at very primitive philosophy, how and why, and what is the meaning of things. It's very easy to see that through all the religions, I believe. You can look at every single religion and find that they try to answer those basic questions. There was a need for religion. Men could grow. It was believed that God or gods were responsible for many of the climatic occurrences and weather that we can easily explain today. They were these things like storms, thunder, and lightning. They were attributed to celestial beings, divine causes. Today we know different. Even the sunrise was attributed to a god. Imagine the sunrise was attributed to God being pulled by a chariot of horses. Or I'm not very familiar with every single little legend, but it doesn't really matter. The sun doesn't rise over the earth, kind of the earth spins around the sun. We know this to be true. We know this to be a fact. This we do not attribute to any god. This is a natural occurrence. It seems to happen without any god involved. There is no god detectable there. Sickness and plagues. There are many examples. Sickness and plagues were also thought to be caused by gods. Maybe even a curse of some sort. But that was easy back then. They didn't know about germs, infection, bacteria, things of that nature. We know about all that. This is not a divine celestial intervention. Volcanoes, earthquakes, all signs, omens, punishments perhaps from the gods. Today we know about plate tectonics. We know what the Earth's crust is, how it moves. We know about magma. We can actually predict it somewhat. This is not a divine influence, but back in the good old days, we absolutely thought primitive men, with no other answers and no science, thought this was caused by gods. When we looked for gods, we found them in volcanoes and thunder. As science grew and men's knowledge grew, we see that there is no God behind that. You think that mental illness was caused by demonic possession and all kinds of other supernatural stuff. There's no demons. We know now that there's many mental illnesses that are attributed to brain damage. Everywhere you looked when men were young, and I mean mankind, there was God. Why was there a rainbow? Oh, that was God. Why was it storming? Why was the hurricane? Oh, that was God. God was everywhere. Today, it's quite difficult. In fact, impossible, I'll go so far as to say, is to find God. God is nowhere to be found. God is not a detectable part of anything. These days, you'll hear people say, oh, God is everywhere. Really? Is God everywhere? Really? I don't think so. Just look around you. Water. Look in water as a perfect example. Anyone with a 7th grade education can tell you that water, H2O, is 2 parts of hydrogen and 1 part oxygen. So there's just 3 atoms in there. This is water. This is H2O. There's no God in there. So we can safely say that God is not in water. So we can look around for other things, and we will see no God anywhere. Even our formulas, our mathematics, 1 plus 1 equals 2, it's not 1 plus 1 plus God equals 2. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. No mention of God. E equals MC squared. It's not E equals MC squared plus a little help from God. I mean, the harder we look for God, the less we can find him. In fact, we can almost say that nothing is caused by God. Before God was given as a reason for the unknown. And in ancient times, this almost was proven to be a fact that there was a God. But as we learned more and we grew more, we found that as an observer that the goalposts for what God is and where God is kept moving backwards. Till finally he's at the unknown places. Now you can only find God at the beginning of the universe. Wow, you have to look back to how the universe started. I mean, I'm looking out my door. Where's God at? Don't tell me about, oh, God started the universe. These kinds of stupid arguments that God is everywhere is just blatantly, patently false. You can look at rainbows. You can look at snowflakes. Perfect crystalline displays of snowflakes. There's no God there. It's snow. God did not make every individual snowflake. If he did, we would see some kind of detectable, measurable occurrence, a fingerprint at least. But there is none. So in my opinion, it's plain to see that early man, with his lack of knowledge, created religion as a way to try to explain how things were for things that had no explanation, it seemed at the time. And that sufficed. But now, with science and knowledge gained, knowledge stored and passed on, we have solid answers where before there was just simply unsubstantiated conjecture of divine intervention. And by this way, the goalposts of who and what God is continuously moved back. The more we learn about nature, how the universe works, the farther God moves away from reality. This makes God unmeasurable, undetectable. What do you call something that is not detectable by any means? Right. We'd all be better served by looking at the answers that science has given us instead of blaming or attributing things to God. Science has given us this much.